Hello and welcome back. So today we have two very special guests with us today, and they are going to be talking to us about modern theatre and... Sorry, what? But they're already here? But they're on the way to the studio? Oh, okay. So modern theatre practitioners Stanislavski and Brecht are now currently making their way down to the studio as we speak. They will be giving us an exciting insight into modern theatre in the 1800s to the 1950s and the historical context behind it all. Sorry, what was that? They're not here yet. They're still walking. Okay, so Stanislavski was born on the 17th of January 1863 in Russia, where he introduced naturalism to theatres through the Stanislavski system. You want me to keep going, don't you? The Stanislavski system is still used to this day by actors who relate the character and their lines to real emotions and experiences in order to make the characters more realistic and believable. Brecht is a German playwright and practitioner who we will talk a bit more about later, as we will have a surprise performance at the end of the show. I usually go for younger men personally, and Brecht was born on the 10th of February 1898, so if I was going to have a chance with either of them, I think we know who I'm going for. Sorry, what? Oh, they're here! Oh, they're here! And please welcome Mr. Brecht and Mr. Stanislavski. Yeah, please take a seat, go on. So thank you for being here today, gentlemen. Pleasure. No problem. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions about modern theatre, if that's okay.
Is this my audience here?
Yes, that's the camera.
Good. I must know where to look.
Oh, well, I was hoping we could just have a normal interview today, if that's okay.
Yes, Brecht. You must know the importance of naturalism.
Okay, so let's just begin with the first question, which is, why did people go to the theatres in the 1800s to the 1950s, and what taste did audiences have in entertainment at the time?
I take this. So, as I have a very good understanding of who my audience are, since I break the fourth wall and speak to my audience, I know who audience are. Most of audience like musicals or theatre drama, but they also used to like melodrama, which is over-the-top acting. But some reason they became boring and now like naturalism. And they mostly go to theatre because they want to see something like their own life, but it's not their own life because it's on stage. But they like to relate to something that is familiar to them. But less people began to go to theatre because of the economic decline and poor standards of the theatre in the 1870s.
Okay, thank you. And question number 2 actually comes from Twitter.
What is this titter?
No, it's Twitter. It's a social media site.
I don't get.
It doesn't matter. The question comes from Amy Loves Cupcakes 1234 5678, and she asks, what was the main religion at the time, and did this have any effect on the drama?
I go. So the dominant religion of the 1800s was Christianity, although not many people believed in God by the end of it. This was because of Charles Darwin's stupid theory of evolution. He thought that animals evolved from themselves. This made it impossible to believe that God created the world in 7 days. This affected drama little bit. It meant that people just made less and less plays about religion.
Okay, great, thank you. And I'm actually very interested to know how the plays were funded. Did the audiences have to pay to watch the plays?
With this good question, the plays were funded through ticket sales, the government and the Arts Council. The government funded money to the Arts Council, which meant the audience didn't have to pay a lot for ticket sales because the money was already coming in from the Arts Council. Audience paid to see play, but each play lasted around 3 weeks to save money for the production and the actors. They used to run 2 or 3 different plays on different nights of the week, but now they just do a matinee in the day and an evening show.
Oh, okay, so were there any political factors that affected the themes of the plays or the drama itself? And were there any historical events at the time that may have impacted the drama too?
War. Big war, 2 of them. Wars had big impact on drama because after the war there was obviously more plays about war. So the War of 1812 between the French and the British, it meant that people made plays about the French being bad guys, if it was an English play. The Industrial Revolution of 1820s and 40s actually affected everyone because people started moving out and migrating the country. It meant that theatres became less and less popular, but obviously some theatres still toured.
And as the 1800s began, I'm sure you will have seen the changes to the stages and the theatres, especially you, Stanislavski. Did you find this had any impact on the drama?
Stage layouts began to change, and it used to be proscenium arch, but then it changed to thrust stage, which is stage from 3 angles, audience see all angles, and I like this better because if I'm acting on stage, obviously they see all of my good sides. Obviously it made the audience be able to feel more involved with the drama. I like thrust stage because I tell my actors to break the 4th wall and scare the audience and distract them and get in their faces, so I like this. Lights also changed to electrical lights, and also revolving stages were introduced.
Okay, well thank you so much for having that interview. I'm sure loads of people at home have learnt so much about modern theatre. Okay, so now we actually have a Brechtian actress here to perform a monologue from one of Brecht's plays. It's actually Mother Courage and Her Children is the name of the play. And before we show you this pre-recorded clip, I would just like to talk to you a bit about the play. So this play would have actually been performed on a box next to the stage instead of actually on the stage, and Brecht wanted this because he thought it would have a bigger unforgettable impact on the audience, and it's more unusual, which made the audience like it more. The play is about a woman called Anna who tries to make a living from the Swedish army. Ironically, she actually ends up losing all 3 of her children to the Swedish war, and the themes of the play are based around war, family and bravery. If I remember correctly, Brecht actually wanted to change the play in 1949 after it had already been released on stage, because he felt that the audience actually misunderstood the intentions of the alienation effect, and the audience were too sympathetic towards Mother Courage. And when writing the play, Brecht also specifically wanted the music to be loud and shocking in order to break the play apart for the audience, so they were reminded that they were watching a play. Is that right, Brecht? Yeah. So without further ado, I give you Mother Courage and Her Children. Literally like 10 seconds of it. How the hell can you line up a company in a place like this? You know what I keep thinking about, Sergeant? Suicide. I'm supposed to knock 4 platoons together by the 12th. 4 platoons the chief's asking for, and they're so friendly around here. I'm scared to go to sleep at night. Suppose I do get my hands on some character and squint at him so I don't notice he's pigeon-chested and has varicose veins. I get him drunk and relax, he signs on the dotted line. I pay for the drinks, he steps outside for a minute. I have a hunch I should follow him to the door, am I right? Away he's gone like a louse from a scratch. You can't take a man's word anymore, Sergeant. There's no loyalty left in the world. No trust, no faith, no sense of humour. I'm losing my confidence in mankind, Sergeant. Thank you and good night. Yeah, that was so good. Well done. Well done. So yeah, let's just... Yeah. Does it stop recording?
Go.
Two keys it could be.
You ready? Wait. Okay, thanks. What's with the